day in the pub, Seb and Verity were socialising with hilarity.
They knew there and then that their options were vast. They bought some equipment and made a podcast.
What do you think you are doing, you twits? It's cliched and obvious, you know.
If this doesn't work well, then we'll call it quits. But right now, just listen to our show.
It's called Three in a Bar.
We'll talk to musicians about their lives so far.
Three in a bar. We hope that you like it, okay? Hooray!
Hello.
Hi, here we are.
Hello, welcome back to Three in a Bar. I'm your host, Seb Philpott, and here's the other host,
Verity Simmons.
Verity Simmons, yeah. Thanks for listening to us. This might be your first time listening. Well, thank you very much for taking a punt on us.
Yeah.
This is our 6th episode. We're sort of getting into the swing of it now.
We certainly are.
And we've got a great interview coming up in the podcast. But before that, just want to let you know, we've got something at the end of the podcast we're going to talk about. It's quite an interesting, fun idea. Which,
Yeah, I think it'd be great. We'd
yeah.
like to hear your ideas on it. See if you agree.
So, yeah, keep listening to the end. What else can people do if, just kind of buckle up and listen to the just
Belt up
just
and
gonna-
listen.
yeah, sit down, sit comfortably, or maybe you're going for a walk, or maybe you're going out running, or a cycle with maybe one ear in, one ear, so you can hear the road and all the people around you. And we're going to start off by playing you our interview. But first, Verity, would you like to tell us who it is, who's in your drawer this week, and could you give us a brief biography?
Let's have a look. It is star of the West End, Laura Baldwin.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Laura, her big break came when she got the role of Dawn in Waitress. She was fantastic in that show and people absolutely loved her. She had quite a long stint on that show. And actually, as lockdown was coming in, she was just off on tour playing Cynthia Weil in Beautiful. And I think she was loving that role. Absolutely gutted that has stopped, obviously, for the time being. And I think she's hopeful that it'll come back. I hope she does, because I want to see that.
Yeah, so we had a chat to her to see what she was up to now and a chat about her career so far.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is our conversation with Laura Baldwin.
It's going all right. It's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know.
Yeah, I feel like everyone just having like good days and bad days.
What are you doing? Have you come up with some new... Are you doing anything new? Are you doing any exciting new hobbies?
So, no. I feel like I should be. I tried to learn sign language. Me and my boyfriend were like, let's learn some BSL. So I learned a little bit, a few greetings, but
Great.
I can't remember. We need to like continue with that. But yeah. I learned good afternoon and how are you?
Oh, very good.
And that was quite cute.
Oh.
Do you guys know any of that? Like,
No.
any
No.
You're like-
when I was at school, we learned how to sing Love Can Build a Bridge.
Oh, really?
That song, yeah, when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old.
Oh.
Can you remember any?
I can't. Well, I guess love is like, is it that? A heart?
Oh God, I don't even know.
I bet it was so cute to watch, but I can't remember any of it now.
I tell you...
We did the same. Oh, sorry, Karen, what were you going to say?
It just doesn't translate terribly well onto a podcast.
It doesn't work on podcasts.
Oh God, yeah. I thought maybe you were going to be like filming part of it. Of course, no one at home can see this. Really sorry. I did really well.
No, I tell you what, it's lovely to know about. I just don't know if I can cope with the whole of Love Can Build a Bridge, just sort of sung in a slightly weird way.
Damn it. We'll have it after.
Yeah, let's. That'll be a treat. But you did one of the Leave a Light On concerts, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Amazing.
Which was It was really fun. Slightly nerve-wracking because I've never done a concert before by myself. So I was shitting it. Can I swear?
You can.
Yeah, good, because I might do a few slip-ups here and there. But yeah, it was actually scary. I decided to just wear pyjamas. I was like, this is going to be in my own home, like really chill, but it almost made it more nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I think there's something weird about being in your own home and you don't sing like you would, I think, if you were like on stage. I don't know, it just...
Yeah,
it feels quite surreal.
Yeah,
and
not getting anything back is a really weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
that's what my friend said.
Yeah, because you often lose your nerves, don't you? If you sing something, well, I'm not singing in my case, thank God. But if I play something and then you get the response afterwards, it sort of eases you in, doesn't it? But if there's silence,
yes, I know for sure. And just like my boyfriend was in the room because he was like playing like guitar every now and then, and I was like, "It's okay." He's like, really like it's so scary.
So hard. Yeah. All your instincts you've built up from performing in front of people, you know how it's going immediately, don't you? And it's like almost like a dialogue between you and the audience.
For sure. And you feed off their reaction.
You haven't got that.
No. But to say that was my first one, actually, when I watched it back, I was pretty happy with it.
Good.
And, yeah, so I'd love to do another one. Yeah, baby,
that's great. You had some accompaniment. That helps so much, doesn't it? I mean, it'd be really hard otherwise.
Yeah, because even like normally, obviously, you can either have a band behind you and they can play alongside you, so you then can work out a different rhythm, you know. Whereas a lot of the tracks were pre-recorded, so I kind of then found myself, you know, you can't change what you're going to do, which is absolutely fine. But if I were to go wrong, you know, there's nothing you can do about that. Whereas Dan plays the guitar, so I kind of thought it'd be better to like use him a lot throughout that and kind of
What did you sing, Laura?
Yeah.
What kind of things did you do?
So I sang something from Beautiful. I sang Happy Days. I sang a few things from that one actually.
Oh, lovely.
From Beautiful, yeah, 'cause I loved it.
Yeah.
I was so good that closed.
I know. I was just going to say that. So that was, you were in the midst of that, weren't you? Like how many months?
Yeah.
3 months in or something?
So 3 months in. Yeah, we were so at the beginning. I was so gutted. I mean, I was just having the best time. We were absolutely loving it. And I think we had so many venues like that I'd not been to before. Yeah. Like I'd not been to Dublin and like I've not been to Glasgow. So I was like, there's so many along the road that we had, like epic venues coming.
Yeah.
I mean, we finished at the Wales Millennium Centre.
Oh, did you? That's a good one.
Great place. Yeah, great place. And we had like fab audiences and it was selling well.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's so risky for the producers right now to reopen something.
No,
and
absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe in the future, if it does come back, that would be amazing. But yeah, just such a shame. None of us knew that it was going to be our last night.
Yes.
You know? I mean, yeah, I had a hunch. I definitely thought that we'd obviously close, but I didn't think it would be for good. I kind of thought, because we were contracted till December,
right?
But had dates up until September. So I was like, we'll reopen. It'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Such a shame.
Because you had such a great part in that. You were Cynthia Weil, isn't it? That's
right.
Cynthia
Weil. Yeah. Cynthia Weil. Yeah.
The German.
So many people do it. Cynthia Weil. No, so many people do that. We went on like a few like radio stations and they'd be like, Wheel? Cynthia Wheel? Like, oh my God, if she was here, she would kill you. Yeah. Yeah, it was so different for me. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yeah. So what was it like? Yeah. Was this the first time you'd played somebody who's actually alive, a real life person?
Yes. Yeah. Which is so much, there's so much more pressure that comes with that because I really wanted to do her justice and I just thought if she were to watch this, which she could happily just be like, I'm going to go watch it in Bradford today. Yeah. Imagine Cynthia Weil and Carol in Bradford. Imagine. But like, I just wanted her to feel like that's me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've always played fictional characters up until now. And actually, I'd never played women, really. I've always played children. So, yeah, and always I've played like weird children, like, slightly awkward characters. That seems to be like my niche that I've found. I didn't know I had.
I mean, that is a cause to celebrate, moving out of the weird child niche. Well done.
Yeah, it was a welcomed, like, yeah, I embraced it. I felt it was nice to be like the sexy one for once, or like the cool one, you know. And it was quite nerve-wracking at first and quite challenging, because that's not all the usual go-tos that I had, or like the process that I would normally go through when doing a show. I think, not that before I wasn't acting, obviously I was, but I'm more similar. I'm obviously more awkward, and I am a bit weird. Like, you know what, screw it, that's me. And, you know, Dawn and Janie and that, they're taken from, you know, from truth, whereas Cynthia is nothing like me, and I aspire to be like someone like that. So yeah, it was quite hard, but amazing.
Yes.
So when you're starting that off, do you have her in your mind the whole time, like the real Cynthia?
Yeah, I did. And actually the director, Ed Goggin, was like, you do it how you feel like it should be done. Like, don't keep thinking of how it was done before. I think also this was the first character that I played that wasn't original cast. Which that sounds so it wasn't original cast, like, you know, I've always played my own roles.
That sounds awful.
But like before, I've always been the first person to decide how I feel like it should be done, and go through a process with the director as to how I feel like the character would do it. Whereas this time, so many people have played Cynthia, I kind of it sounds bad, but I wanted to be the best at it, and I wanted to, if the girls were doing it a better way, like, how did they do it? And I never experienced that before. But yeah, I really tried to keep her like in the forefront of my mind and be like, genuinely, what would Cynthia do right now?
Yeah,
this is not what Laura would do. Like, this is what she would do.
Did you go back and look at lots of other versions of Beautiful and watch other people's interpretations? Or did you feel like you wanted to steer clear of that, having got this advice, to make it your own, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's so funny. I feel like I wanted to watch it, and there is a version of it online, and so many people did watch it. And I was so tempted because, like I was saying before, I wanted to know how they did it. But I feel like it would have been detrimental to me to do that. So I kept trying to be strong on the path of like not watching any of it. But years ago, when it first came into town, I think I'd seen it like 3 times. Big fan.
Wow.
Yeah. Front row.
So it helped that I'd seen it. Yeah. Front row, like, got the t-shirt, everything, like, loving it. Yeah. But yeah, I'd seen it just like when it came in, and then I was auditioning for it when it was in town, for Cover Carol, actually. Cover Carol. And then my friend Bronte was in it, so I went to go see her. So yeah, 3 times I watched it. But fantastic. Yeah, other than that, I tried not to study it too much.
Yeah. And did you like the music? Is the music great in it? I'm sad to say I haven't seen Beautiful at all. What's it like? Is it
really
fantastic?
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know what? It's amazing. It's not like a jukebox musical in the sense that they make a story around the songs. Like the songs that, I mean, her songs are just an absolute classic. Like, Carole King wrote some absolute bangers. Like, she's so amazing. And Cynthia and Barry, who wrote their songs, like, their music is amazing, and you just can't help but love it. It feels so classy and slick, and yeah, they don't make a story out of the songs. It's not like they use You've Got a Friend in like a fictional way. It's all based on truth, and but they just somehow fit. And yeah, I think it's just slick and brilliant, classy. I was really proud to be a part of it, you know.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. And were you enjoying the touring lifestyle, that element of things? How long were you in each place, actually?
It was weekly, so that's...
Whew.
Yeah, wow. And that's a tough one, and I find touring tough anyway, because it's hard, isn't it? You have to uproot your life. Like, have you both been on tour?
Yeah.
I don't know whether,
I've done bits. I haven't done a long running sort of show like a West End sort of style show.
Yeah.
So especially one where you've got to change every week. That does sound like a big upheaval.
I was doing English touring opera last year, and that was ridiculous. It was like 4 days or 3 days, then somewhere else, then and it was like kind of all over the country. Like, there didn't seem to be any rhyme or reason.
I know. It's not like they go like close together.
No.
Like, I feel like when we were in Aberdeen and then the next we were like in London somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, surely you could have like done this in a better way. But yeah, touring's hard, isn't it? I have such a love-hate relationship with it. I was having an absolute blast with everyone. I made some gorgeous friends on that job, which was really nice. You always want that, don't you? Because you're always terrified of what everyone's going to be like. And we were having so much fun, but at the same time, I just miss home, and I feel like I'm so settled where I am. Lovely. And it's different. The first time I went on tour was when I was like 21, 22, so you're out all the time. Yeah. And I was single, and I was like living a different life. Whereas this tour, I was like, I need to get back home every Saturday, and I got a car, which is now useless. It's sat on my driveway. But like, you know, it just became a different version of touring for me. And I find booking gigs an absolute ball ache.
Oh, totally.
Like, don't you? It's the worst. Awful. It's so annoying. Yeah. It's.
We were talking to Rodney about this. Do you know Rodney Vubia, didn't you?
I do. Yeah. I feel like we've definitely met because I had a listen to your podcast actually.
Cool.
Yeah, now subscribed. I love your like theme tune that you've got.
That was Seb.
Oh, thank you.
Seb wrote.
Was it? Did you write it?
Yeah, I wrote that.
I loved it.
It's like Dennis Waterman, sing the theme tune, write the theme tune.
I also listened that you buy a gift for everyone. So if you want my address,
hang on a second.
Like if you need my address, you can just send it over there.
Listen, we'll mail one over. Don't you worry about that.
No, you don't have to.
I've got a lovely cupboard full of things from like kids' parties. I'm sure I can cobble together something for you, Laura.
Oh, really? I would love that. Just some balloons, I'll be thrilled with, honestly. Like, just send them over. As long as I can blow them up, I'm absolutely thrilled.
Right, we'll send you some uninflated balloons.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the least we can do.
Phew, Seb, I think
Please
we can
do that now.
So going backwards, we go back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put a jingle in there.
Oh, could you? That would be lovely.
Put one in, absolutely.
Waitress, Laura. So exciting. I think I remember when you just got that. It's an incredible show.
Really?
Congratulations. And like, did you have a wonderful time on that?
I did. It was a very crazy time for me.
Right.
But yeah, I did. I absolutely loved it. It was a bit of a whirlwind, I think. I think it's everything I'd ever dreamed of ever. And I don't know, I feel like there's a quote or something, but it's like when you're actually faced with your dream, like it almost unravels itself. It kind of, I don't know, I feel like I put so much pressure on it for it to be everything I'd ever wanted it to be. And you wanted to like live every moment. And it's been something that I've been striving for from like the age of 6. You know, I'm like, I'm going to be on the West End. And then when you actually do it, you're like, it has to be perfect, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like I had to find a balance to actually just live every moment and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. And the music is out of this world. Like Sarah Bareilles is an absolute genius.
Yeah.
And it's changed my career for good, you know.
Yeah. I mean, was that a massive auditioning process? Did you have how many? Was it rounds and rounds or?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was really scary because actually I didn't get any notes or anything. It was kind of, you know, it was just kind of do what you do and then leave. And they weren't very. They weren't very like eloquent. They didn't really talk about what they would want from you. So I just was like, I just hope that I get this. And I just so desperately wanted it. And we had, I feel like about 7 rounds, maybe. I was given material initially on the first round. And then I had my final, like a good few rounds later. And And I remember just being absolutely terrified. But then as soon as it was done, I was like, oh, thank God. Then my agent called me and was like, that wasn't your final. Your final's actually later on this week. And I was like, no. I'd gone out that night and been like, gone and got drunk and was like, it's done. Thrilled. And was in later that week. And then it was really horrible because then they had another Dawn, which actually was Evie Hoskins. Who is now playing it. Well, hopefully she plays it again, but so amazing she got to play it. And they had one Ogie and then another, so they had like 2 of each character, and they would call you in one by one and you do a scene with the Becky and the Jenna, and then they'd swap you, and it's just awful.
Goodness.
Because I hate meeting people that I'm against. I just don't I just don't want to know, especially when it gets to the final, because you both want it so much. And everyone wanted Waitress. Like, so many people wanted to be up for it that weren't, or like, it was going to be massive, which it was. Yeah. And it would definitely have changed my career or anybody else's career. It definitely did that for me. And I was like, I have to. There's just something in me that was like, I just have to get this.
Yeah.
So I was just relieved when I found out I had. But just, it's so special now that Evie's actually played it. I think it's that's worked out
lovely,
really well,
isn't it? Yeah.
But it's a really special show, and I feel like it gave me a backbone, because there was so much that went on that I don't have to touch on now, but. There was, so much that went on in that show for me personally. Yeah. And, I just feel like I came out of it stronger. Yeah. And, was so grateful for it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. It seems that you had a lot of support from fans, and you must have built up a huge, fan base that must have been really helpful for any tough times.
Definitely. Yeah, it really was. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And they are so loyal, which is amazing. Sometimes I find it so overwhelming, even when in that tough time you need people to get behind you, or when you're feeling low, you feel like you need those fans, and you're so grateful that they're there. But it is overwhelming, and like the lines out of stage door would be like right down the street, and like it's scary. I like when I was little, I couldn't wait to sign someone's autograph. Like, do you know, I once told someone that I was in Eugenius and I signed an app. How bad is that? I was like desperate for it. Like,
who did you say you were, Laura? Which one?
I didn't say which one.
I was going to say you're never going to get away as Rochelle. I'm sorry.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No. No.
That's brilliant.
Thankfully, they didn't ask, but they were just like, "So are you an Eugenius?" This was when we were on holiday, and I was like, "Yeah." I'd sung on karaoke, and I'd sung "My Heart Will Go On," classic.
Well done.
And afterwards they asked me, and I said I was. Dreadful. But I'd always wanted that, and I feel like when you get it, and I don't know, I just found it so overwhelming.
I'm not surprised. It must be immense. We were saying about this earlier, that it's a really funny thing for us, because as musicians come out that stage door, I remember I used to do Dep on Kinky Boots, the same theatre, and I know the lines used to be huge out the back there. If you just sort of swan through, they see the instrument in the back, they're like, nah, whatever. Off you go.
So bad,
oh no, it's the band.
It's so bad. No, it's so bad. I mean, the great thing about Waitress is that they cared all about the swings and and everyone and the band are on stage for Waitress. So, I mean, I don't know whether they had to sign autographs, but I hope they did. I hope they were. I hope they had to.
I think I read somewhere, I think you said this, or somebody definitely in the cast had been talking about the prop situation, because it was quite immense, wasn't it?
Oh my God. I cannot be trusted. I cannot be trusted with any of those props, honestly. It's actually a nightmare. Like, Waitress, the irony of, I feel like I've said this before, is that when you get a good gig and you're still a blooming waitress, you're like still serving people. I'm like, oh my God. And half of the rehearsal process was me being like, so I I put the coffee where, and I have to go here, and so I go to you and I ask you what you want, and I have to go bring you chips, and then you have to I genuinely, it was a nightmare. There was one time, I feel so bad for this. So there had to be a real pie on stage, and in opening up the opening number, it had fallen on the floor, and I was like, oh well, no one can. I thought it was just for the people at the diner, and I was like, no one should eat that because that's been on the floor. So I put it in like a little basket thing, and Kat McPhee has to bring over Earl a piece of pie. Yeah. And it's like all about him eating this pie. And I stood there and I was like, shit, move the fucking pie. I was like, it's me. And she was like, and she just froze and she was like, we need a pie for this bit. And I was like, a pear? I'll get you a pear. I'll get you one off stage. I'll get you a pear. So I ran off stage. I was like, she needs a pie. And I was like, oh my God. And I literally was sweating so much. You know where you're going to get in trouble because it's you and you're the reason this whole show has broken down. Oh, terrifying. Oh God. I felt so bad. So I left the props alone after that. But there's just so much. Yeah. I mean, they're planning to tour it and that's going to be crazy. Yeah. Because there's just flour everywhere. You're constantly like mopping up water, like juice. It's just,
oh my God.
The props are nuts and I cannot be trusted with any of them.
No, well, I worked in Little Chef when I was younger and I know
Did you?
Well. Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
For one summer. One fateful
I remember
summer.
Little Chef.
Oh, never eat there is what I'd say. Sorry.
Really? Is it still open?
I don't know. It did say Heston Blumenthal had a hand in it for a while. Did you know that? He tried to go in and clean up.
Turn it around.
Yeah, but I saw some things. I saw eggs go off the griddle onto the floor, back onto the griddle. I swear.
No, awful.
Yeah. People had to go and, I had to go and clean the toilets on one occasion, and then they said, we need you back out. And I was like, I'm cleaning the toilets. And they were like, no, we need you now. You have to serve these things. So there you go. There's a little insight.
Just what you hear behind like closed doors, it's gross, isn't it?
It's so gross. I've never been back. I really haven't been back into one. Minging. Sorry about that. Nobody cares.
I care.
Oh, okay.
I'm never going to a Little Chef ever again.
Oh, good. I've done my bit.
Well, theatres can be really gross, can't they? Backstage, no one realises that.
Yeah, no.
So many times I've been in band rooms and all the carpet's been ripped up. It's like, the sewage went everywhere yesterday. So.
Or mice. Yeah. You just find like a mouse in your shoe, like a mouse in your shoe. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like they're everywhere. I mean, I'd never seen one, but people see them all the time. Yeah. Especially if you're in Covent Garden, they're just everywhere.
What was it like at Delphi? Did you have a nice dressing room there?
I did. Yeah. The first time I walked into my dressing room, I sobbed because it was massive, and beautiful. And I think one of the girls on Kinky Boots had decked it all out and it looked gorgeous and it was yellow and just sunny and I had all my plants in there. It was lovely. Yeah, I really loved it.
God, that's a real I've made it moment, that, isn't it? That really is.
It felt like that, yeah. I think also because, at the other palace, behind stage, as much, I love the other palace, but backstage is tiny and all of the girls were in one dressing room and I have a space the size of my laptop. Not complaining, it's so fun. Yeah. But I was thrilled to then walk into the Delphi and be like, I can do yoga in here.
Yes.
I had a shower. I was like, this is, oh my gosh, I sobbed forever. It was beautiful.
Lovely. At the other palace, when we did Big Fish, we had a band corridor.
Are we going back in time again?
Yeah, we
now?
are. Can you do that? Rewind. I think it was the end of 2017, wasn't it? Is that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's where I first met you on that lovely show. Do you know? I went and watched back some of over the Royal Variety performance of that today, and it still makes me feel a little bit sad because I thought that was a lovely, lovely show.
Me too. Oh my God, I love that show with all my heart.
Yes.
Yeah. It was just a dream.
Yeah. The whole thing, I can't really understand why it didn't come. I know there was the press weren't so keen on it, were they?
No, they weren't. They weren't. I mean, who knows why? I mean, I feel like I felt nervous that night. That press night. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And who knows why it didn't transfer or why it didn't do well. I was just so baffled because
me too.
I loved it so much, and I just thought, we can't all be wrong.
No.
This is a really beautiful piece of theatre.
Yeah.
It was so well thought out. Like, our costumes were all made of scrubs because they were, or like hospital gear, and every prop was made of something you would find in a hospital. And like, just the thought behind it, and just the way it was directed by Nigel Harman, and like everything about it, I absolutely loved. So
I know. And everyone I know who came to see it thought it was fantastic. And I remember coming to see your dress rehearsal, the final, one of the last dress rehearsals. And it's just so gorgeous.
Gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I cried an awful lot.
Oh my God. There was one rehearsal where we did the final scene, and Nigel was like, okay, do the scene for yourselves. I don't know if you know how it ends, Seb.
I've seen the film. I haven't didn't see that show though.
It's the end is like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And
is it like the same as in the film?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I know, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it's the same.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, he dies. And it's really sad.
He dies. Is it the funeral bit where everyone turns up and it's always they were real?
Yeah. And it's like, it even makes me feel funny now, but like they all the people in his life all come back, and it's just like, and the music that Andrew Lipper put with it is, and I could never do it without sobbing.
Yeah.
Like every night I would be like, and we were told we weren't allowed to cry as well, so I'd be like,
oh God, I don't know how you did it. I really don't.
It was just, it's so moving and it's so beautiful, and you're so right. Like every friend that I had that went to see it was like, why did that not transfer? Why? I hope they bring it back one day.
Let's start a campaign right here, right now.
It's doing it. Guys, if you want to see Big Fish again, get it out there.
We're all there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I know everyone in the cast loved it as well. I feel like they'd all be up for it.
It was such a lovely group.
Half of them now.
Yeah. And how was it working with Kelsey? Was he fun to be around? He seemed so nice. I really liked him. But
Kelsey Grammer is like one of the best people in the entire world. I loved him. He's so nice.
Yeah.
And he's so funny, and he's unbelievably talented.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought he was one of the most amazing actors I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
And just so charming. I think I was a bit in love with him, actually. Yeah. I genuinely definitely was. Because he was just great and so friendly, and I feel like the media have painted him in such a way, and I chose not to look up anything because I was like, I don't want to know. I just want to meet him and make my own decision on that.
Yeah. And
I'm so glad that I did that, because he's just the nicest man, and he loved the show so much. And it makes me so happy that, because so many people are like, what was it like working with Kelsey Grammer? Because obviously he's huge. Yeah. And I'm just thrilled that I don't have to be like, yeah, he's really nice. Like, I can actually, do you know what I mean? Like, I can actually gush about him.
Yeah. The other palace, you did another show. You did Eugenius there, didn't you? After
I did, yes, yeah. I feel like I worked there at the other palace then for like 2 years, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so were they back to back? Was that?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So as we were finishing Big Fish, I auditioned for Eugenius, and I found out whilst I was doing Big Fish that I got it. I think it was about like 2 weeks or so. Oh no, that's a lie. It's a complete lie. The last 2 weeks of Big Fish, I then was doing rehearsals for Eugenius at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Which is really tiring.
Yeah.
But so fun. But yeah, quite tiring because you're
completely
basically
different show as well. So different
different
space.
So different. And I think because I was so in love with Big Fish, and it was everything we dreamed it would be, and I was like, oh my God, this is the best job ever. You so want the next job to be the same. Yeah. It was just completely different, but Eugenius was the same, just on so many different levels. And I had an absolute blast doing Eugenius. I feel like that also, it was kind of like a stepping stone to Waitress, I think.
Yeah.
Then, because in Big Fish I had like a featured role, and I got to sing a bit, which was really nice, because actually then there's nowhere near as much pressure. I had like my little bit of singing, and then I was back to the back, and that felt really nice. So Janie was the first role in Eugenius that I'd ever been a lead of, and I feel like it was the perfect place to do it.
Yeah. It's such a nice environment, isn't it? That theatre. It's got the size and everything. It feels like quite a comforting space, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does. And everyone there is so lovely. It's so funny. I thought, because it's so close, and actually you can see the people that you're talking to, like they're so close to you. It's like literally from me to the end of the bed, and then they're like, so you can see every expression they have. You know if they're liking it or not. And I thought that would terrify me, but actually it's really nice. Yeah. Because you can gauge how they're feeling. Whereas then when I got to the Adelphi, partly I was wearing glasses, so even though they're a see-through lens, I still felt like I was kind of blind. Because the lights would like reflect off it, and I'd be like, I can't look anyone in the eye. But it was just like darkness. Like you can't see, so you don't know if the people up in the gods are loving it or they're with you. Whereas at the other palace, even at the back how they're feeling, and you can hear it.
Oh, it's amazing feeling. Yeah, it's just it's. I mean, both things are brilliant, aren't they? It's good to have a mix of both. Yeah, and to hopefully go from job to job and sample a bit of everything.
Yeah, for sure. Always
amazing.
Yeah, and I think then it's like you build up skills, because I feel like I perform differently when it is a big audience to when it is at the other palace. You can, your reactions don't need to be as big, and you don't feel like the people at the back need to be able to hear you, because they're like all coming to you. And also at the other palace, it's almost like they're all looking down at you, so you don't really need to reach for the attention, because they're already looking at you. Do you know what I mean? I feel like whereas often, on a stage, people are trying to like look up to you, and you feel like you have to work harder to communicate to them. And like the Adelphi is so big, the people up in the gods, and that's where me and my mum would sit when I was little. So I always felt conscious that I'd be like, I want you to know that I'm communicating to you. But I feel like you do. It's like a different show that you would do, I think, depending on the theatre.
How does your lifestyle change when you're on a run of a show? Do you have to think about certain, like, keeping fit or just like getting enough sleep and that sort of thing? Yeah. Is that something you've got to be conscious of?
It really is. And I'm unbelievably conscious of it. Sometimes I think, according to my boyfriend, too much. I'm like, because as soon as I wake up, I want to drink everything. Like, you want to drink your whole like daily amount of water 4 hours before the show. So you want to make sure that, so if you've got a matinee, you need to have drunk like 2 litres before 11 o'clock.
God.
And I was, wow. And like, you don't have to do that, but it's advised. And I'm like, I have to do this. And Waitress and Eugenius were such big things for me in completely different ways. Like Waitress, I put on a voice for my character, and it just made it so much harder. So I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't do it if I wasn't feeling right. So I was so aware of like doing yoga and eating really healthily, and before a show making sure that I'd had like a certain amount of food. I think I became a little bit too obsessed with it. I would before every show I would always have watermelon. I had to have it. And I think there was before one show actually at Waitress, I didn't have any watermelon, and the cast were like, okay, it's gonna be fine, we'll get you, can we get some sweets for Laura, please? The sweets for Laura. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but like, because it keeps hydrating you as like even better than water.
God, that's a good tip.
So
That's
I always have it before I sing. But it became a crux for me, and I think it is finding a balance.
The classic watermelon.
The watermelon crux. Oh God! I know I have nightmares about it now.
Yeah, I read a thing that the actors, or I don't know if it's specifically people in musicals or just in plays, but they constantly need a wee when they're on stage. Is that true?
I mean, yeah. Like, so for me in Beautiful, once I was on stage, I didn't have any time off, and because I was just constantly getting changed and then going back on, and I would be busting for a wee the whole show because you're just downing so much water, you feel like you need it, and then oh my God, it's just finding times when you can then go, and I'd be like running and finding where the next toilet is, and but you do spend it the whole time needing to pee.
Do you know what, I always thought it's bad enough being in the pit, but that's like a whole new world, isn't it?
But then I've always thought of you guys as well. I'm like, how do they do it? Because you can't go anywhere, can you?
I've had some really terrifying
Are you allowed to
ones.
go?
It depends where you're sat, really. So
does it?
Depends.
One of the shows I was doing, I was in front. There was like a human wall behind me. I just could not get through.
Wall.
A human wall, yes.
A human wall?
In Funny Girl. Like, I was in a really weird position for the cello, right at the front, in front of the conductor.
Right.
There was no way through. And I remember there were a couple of performances in that run. That first half was long as well. And we'd start the overture and I think, oh God. It was a good test for one's pelvic floor, I'd say.
Just sat there doing pelvic floor exercises,
exactly.
like, I can do this.
It's okay.
I do feel for you guys down there, because you literally, once you're down there, you can't go.
You can, sometimes you can. Like it depends. It depends on the theatre or who's MDing or whoever. What the rules are. I mean, if you really can't be seen by the audience, because if you're really tucked away under the stage and you're by the door, I think it's fine.
You're like,
it's quite nice to have someone to go and put the kettle on 5 minutes before.
Yes,
exactly.
Interval.
Oh, dreamy. That's just what you need.
Hey Laura, I owe you a big thank you for when you did a shout out for my in-laws in Cinderella at Eastbourne. Hang on, when was that? A couple of Christmases back. Honestly, it was brilliant because I thought, what is going to really make them so embarrassed and so traumatised? What can I do to really, really get them? And they loved it. They absolutely
did. Oh, good. Oh my God, I love that. Nothing better than panto. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Did you have a fun time doing that?
Yeah, I love doing panto. Yeah, I really do. And I've worked for Jordan Productions for I feel like I've done panto for them twice, and they're just such a lovely company. And it's just so fun because you can mess around on stage and the audience love it.
Yeah.
And it feels so Christmassy. I mean, the hours are long. Like, I'm not going to lie, no one likes a 3-show day. No one likes a 3-show day. They are. God. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what scene you're in. You don't know anything. But I do. I really enjoy it. I do feel like I'd love to see a lot of like a modern panto.
Yeah. Was it quite a traditional one then? With that one in particular, Cinderella?
Yeah. It's quite a traditional script, and I absolutely adore them. I do feel like sometimes the stories for panto get a bit dated. Yeah. And I feel like, I'd love to see a princess that doesn't need saving. I feel like that, that's needed. But I do. I still love a classic panto. And it was fun. And, the kids just light up when they see you because they so believe that you're the real Cinderella. And they just love it. It's really cute. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like a childhood dream, doesn't it? Being Cinderella. Amazing.
I know, well, it does. Yeah. I mean, that's when I was little, I was like, I just want to be a princess in panto. I so wanted that. And like wearing a ball gown, I was thrilled. I would just love to be by a beach. Right now. I'd love to live like that. Yeah. I mean, right now. Don't you just miss going to beaches?
I know.
So much.
We're not going to be able to go on holiday forever.
I was down near Bexhill. Is that nearby? That's near Respawn, isn't it? Bexhill, sort of.
Oh, Bexhill. Oh, I don't know.
So
Somewhere south.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Or
I think you're
Folkestone
right.
as well.
I
I don't know. I get so
Bexhill.
confused with those blooming towns.
It's all on the coast,
But
isn't it?
I was down by the sea recently, and I can confirm it was lovely. I mean, I say recently, it was about 8 weeks ago. But that's the thing, yeah. I mean, it'd be great if we were near the sea. Now, I would be down there all the time. So I'm from Southend, so that's sort of my. That's it's where I'm from. It's it's who I am. You know, that's that salty air.
It's
when you get off the
in
train.
me.
Oh,
You need to get yourself back to
It's in me.
Southend.
I know. Get back to Southend.
Yeah, me too. I've got fisherman blood. Well, I haven't really, but I'm from Cornwall, so I may as well do.
Get back there. Yeah, get back there. Yeah.
Where did you grow
Sounds
up,
great.
Laura?
So I grew up in Yorkshire. So there's not much going on there. Don't need, no.
Not much sea-wise.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I grew up in West Yorkshire. So kind of like near Leeds, Huddersfield way. But I moved to London when I was 16.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Well, first,
Yeah, I did.
for music theatre or
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, great.
It's quite scary actually. I moved by myself.
Oh.
And went to
Wow.
live with a landlady, and I think if I'd not have got a scholarship I wouldn't have gone, but it was kind of, let's just audition and see how you do. And my parents were like, if you get a scholarship, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, and we'll figure it out. And I was so excited to go that we just didn't really think anything of it, and that must have been so hard for my parents to be like, hi, 16, you're a baby.
You really
Yeah.
are. That's so bold, though. It must set you up so well, though, because you sort of have to find the strength to do that at 16, don't you?
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure. I remember like walking around Sidcup and just being like, this is where I live now. And I don't know anybody. I don't know the people that I'm living with. I don't know who my friends are going to be. And I was just terrified because I was so excited to go to college, and it's so daunting. All of a sudden you are this little fish in a big pond. And, it's just, it's so much to, especially to live somewhere like London from Yorkshire. Like, I live near farms and it's very quiet.
Yeah.
And, the life is quite slow. And as much as I love that, now it's like, then you're thrown into London life and it's just so different.
Yeah.
But I guess all the girls and the people that I became friends with were in their 20s. Like my friend, she's still my friend now, Genevieve, I think she was like 22 when we first met, I think. And that's a lot for her to befriend a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
But we became best friends there.
Oh.
And I think because I was around older people, you grow up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And
So the age range was from like 16 to what, sort of 22, 23?
to like 30. So there were some people that were like 27. But yeah, they take you at 16 or 18 but the plan for like me and my parents was I'll go at 16 and then afterwards I'll maybe do like a 1-year course somewhere and get a degree.
Yeah.
That just never, I then just had different plans.
Cool.
But that was the initial idea. Yeah.
Did you find when you got there, you felt like you'd found your people? Is that why you could sort of just connect with people of any age? Because you're like, well, we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah. And yes. And I feel like, when I was younger, I would miss out on so much because I was so obsessed with what I was doing, and I would never get to go to birthday parties, or I miss out on so much. And it was always my choice, but I just, they don't understand that when they're not a part of it. People would be like, oh, you're never free, you're always like missing out. And I'd have like boyfriends up, like when I was like 14, and they'd be like, oh, I just never see her because she's always dancing. And like, no one ever understood it. Whereas then I was around all these people that had that all their life as well. And also they had a passion that was the same as mine. And, like you say, I felt like I'd found my people. Yeah. And I feel like you find that even more so when you go into like your jobs. Like the older I get, the more, I don't know, you meet people that are going through the same things as you. Like hopefully when I start to like have kids or something, like I know now that I can do that in this industry.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't before. Like you meet so many different people who are all on the same route as you, and it's really nice.
I just wanted to ask you actually, because Seb actually sent me a picture earlier of a jumper. Which now, hang on a minute. I don't know if I can see it, but I'm sure it says something like, "My stage fave is Laura Baldwin." Have you seen anyone wearing this jumper? And have you seen this jumper yourself?
Yes and yes. There's a lovely girl called Chloe Harvey. I'll shout out to her. Hello, if she hope she listens. But yeah, she has one of the t-shirts, and yeah, she wears it like loud and proud, and I absolutely love
that's so
it.
nice.
That's
But yeah,
so
you
cool.
can't believe them. You can get a hat, you can get a mug.
What?
I hope you can get a keyring. I feel like that should go along well with that.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I think so. A fridge magnet.
Yeah. I feel like Chloe and my mum probably have one. No, I feel like the stage fave, they do it for like everyone, I think.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's really, really cute.
Not everyone. Come on now. I mean, just before you finish, were you auditioning again now, or were you, because you were in the midst of the tour, were you quite just going with it, or had you started looking at other things?
No, I was just going with it.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, which actually is quite daunting, because I think since Big Fish, actually, I've known exactly what I'm going on to as each job's ended. And so lucky, my career has not always been like that. And now I'm faced with the fact that I have no idea what is coming next. And that, as exciting as that is, that's quite a daunting time. And I know we're all in that position. Like, so many shows have closed, so many actors are free, and we don't know what's going on. But I think it's tough when you thought you were being paid weekly until Christmas, a certain amount, and you know, the best thing about being in a job is you're getting security and you don't have to audition, because auditions are scary. So you know, but you know, I'm just now, we'll see what happens, and you know, I do hope that it does reopen. That would be amazing. Even if it was the start of next year, I'd do it in a heartbeat, because I just absolutely adored it. But yeah, you know, we'll see. Hopefully auditions start coming up soon, but we don't even know when theatres are going to reopen.
No, true enough. Have you got, like, is there a hit list of things that you'd like to do, roles you'd like to play in an ideal world?
You know, I feel like I get asked that and I never know the answer. And I feel like it's because so many, like when I did Big Fish and Eugenius and even Waitress, I'd never heard of them before auditioning. And when I was given the material for Big Fish and then I learnt the music and the songs, I then immediately was like, I have to be in this because this is stunning. And it became a dream role for me. And then the same happened with Eugenius and the same with Waitress. And I almost feel like if I mean, this is bad, but I so wanted to be Anna in Frozen. Now it's been cast. I really wanted it. I so wanted it. And I was auditioning for it. And when you set your sights on something, and, you know, at the time I was like, I have to get this. I gave it the same gumption that I'd given the other jobs I'd gone for. And when it doesn't work out, then you're left, you feel lower than you would if you hadn't, like, put it on a pedestal, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guess my dream has always been to, like, keep working and be able to, I want to do this till I'm 70. So I just want to, you know, keep going. And I want the same as everybody else. I want to, you know, enjoy it and still love it when I'm 70. I don't want to lose the love for it. And I don't know, I'd love to work at the National, and, you know, I'd love to be in a film. I'd love to do everything. Like, yeah. But I would never want to be like, I want to play this person, or, you know, I feel like, I've been happy with the route I've gone. And I feel like even if this were to be the end for me, I'd be more than happy. Yeah, with what I've done.
Yeah, but it won't be, Laura. There's an exciting... I can say it's an exciting time.
Who knows?
All right. Yes. Well done. That was great. Lovely chat with Laura.
Lovely,
she was
Laura.
So nice, wasn't she?
Yeah, she really was. I was so excited to chat to her that I realised I was getting more and more excited, and it was all a little bit high octane sometimes.
Yeah.
A bit foghorn.
I found myself doing that classic Zoom shouting, especially early on.
Yeah.
That I'm sure we've all been the victim of.
Yeah. It's awful.
Bit of shouting at the laptop, but
yeah, leaning in and screaming at the screen.
Yeah. But yeah, she was really lovely. It was a nice chat, and great to speak to someone that's like a proper leading lady.
I know. Fancy having all that merch. Amazing.
Yeah. Wow, merch.
We've got to post her something, Seb. I mean, I've get her address. We've got to send her those balloons. No, I'm going to message her for them. I've been thinking it all week because that would be terrible.
I've got some balloons here, actually.
Oh, well done.
I can do that. Okay, so if you listen to this whole bit up to now, well, thank you very much. And please help us out because we're still kind of getting started. So if you could like and subscribe and share and rate and review, all those things, that really helps. Yes. It just helps us get seen so then we can get a few more listeners and, then we can keep doing this. Right, so we've got a sort of idea, which I thought I could tell you all about. Basically, I went for a run the other day and I bumped into a friend, Seb Pennar, two Sebs in the park. We were actually dressed the same. It was really weird. We hadn't planned it at all. But so we ran together for like a mile at 2 meters distance, which is actually quite hard to do.
Must have looked like the 118 advert, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, it must have done. But we were just talking about... he was talking about, preparing for different things like, concerts coming up or different projects coming up. And just, I'd been off because I'd had a cold sore last few weeks. So getting back to playing again. And just that thing of getting match fit again. And there's no real substitute to just doing a gig. And obviously we can't do a gig at the moment. But I thought maybe we could all, play along to a recording at exactly the same time, and then it's almost like doing a gig. There's a sort of communal feel, isn't there? It's like when we were talking to Johnny Abraham last week about when you're watching something on the telly at the same time as everyone else, or listening on the radio, or it's like Tim Burgess's listening parties on Twitter.
Yeah,
there's an amazing feeling when there's like hundreds or thousands of other people also listening to exactly the same song. There's something really magical about that. So I thought what we could do, we could try it out maybe this Friday at 2:00. This is just
sounds like a good time.
Trial it.
Yeah,
we're all going to play Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony.
Yes,
because it's a classic, isn't it?
It's
often one of the first ones you play at youth orchestra.
Yeah,
I think most people will have played it. So the idea is for any professionals that want to just get their eye back in. Any amateurs that just want to play, and you'll be playing at the same time as professionals. It's like you're playing in an orchestra. And also what we could do is I'll set up a Zoom meeting so that everyone can join. Because I think how many people can be in a Zoom meeting? It's hundreds.
100 at least, isn't it?
Yeah. So everyone could be on the Zoom meeting, but you will all be muted, so you can't hear anyone, but you can see everyone else doing it. So if there's like a clarinet solo going on, all the people playing clarinet, you can look at them and they're doing their solo. Yeah. But basically you can play any part you like. If you want to play second bassoon, sure, do it.
Why not?
But do it. But maybe you want to play all the first part. You can do anything you like. It's just a way of playing and just getting through some music.
Absolutely.
When you're sort of forced to do it, you can't stop because the virtual concert's going on. So anyway, what do you think about that? Does that work?
Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea. I think we should definitely do it. I'll be there. Okay. I'll get the cello out.
You'll be there. Excellent.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Well, we'll be there. So come and join us on a Zoom meeting. I'll tweet about it and we'll set it up. We'll call it, what should we call it? Hashtag Play Along Symphony. Yeah. Does that work? Something like that?
You've put it out there now. I think we go with that. Hashtag Play Along Symphony. Come on.
Okay, we'll give it a go. That's it. Right. That was my idea.
It's a good one.
We'll see if it works. We'll pick a good recording. I don't know what one's a classic. We'll find a classic recording.
Yeah, let's look into that, and then we can we'll stick it on all the social medias, and absolutely join us. It would be really fun. It'd be great to see other faces and other instruments.
If it goes well, you never know. By August, we could tackle the Rite of Spring.
Yes, come on. I might have a go at second bassoon in that.
Any other news to report?
Well, I've just got to read something out that my mum sent me this morning, and I don't really know how to take it. Well, you decide for yourself. She photographed an article in The Guardian this morning, and it's obviously to do with things that people are doing during the lockdown. And at number 10, she said, read number 10. It says, incidence of podcasting in the general population runs at 0.08%. In males aged 28 to 50 in lockdown, it runs at 79%. They used to say you were never more than 6 foot from a rat. Now you're never more than 2 houses from a man with opinions and a microphone.
Yeah,
so, I mean, I'd just like to say this might be the one occasion you can ever feel thankful that I'm in the mix here, because
why do you think I asked you to be in it?
I know.
I needed a lady in her 40s to change the demographic.
Oh, God, what a dreadful description. A lady in her 40s.
You're just here to tick a box, Verity.
I know. Great. Positive discrimination.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
We've ended on a low note, but thank you so much for listening, and come back and join us next week. We'll be here with another fantastic guest.
Absolutely.
Not sure yet who it is. We don't know who it's going to be yet. We haven't quite decided. We've got quite a few in the can. We've done a lot of podcasting in the last couple of weeks.
We've got some catch-ups tomorrow, haven't we?
Yeah, we're going to do some catch-ups, see how people are that we interviewed back in 2019.
Yeah.
So their situation
good old days
has changed, I'm sure. So we're going to be doing some of those, and there'll be more stuff coming out soon. So thanks very much.
Thanks. Hopefully see you Friday.
See you Friday for Chike 5.
Yes.
And then see you next Monday for episode 7.
Wait.
Okay. All right then. Bye.
Bye.